Hey guys, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies.
Relax, be cool, cause if you don't, you'll act like a fool, so be cool.
In commemoration of the upcoming sequel, Top Gun Maverick, I'm taking a look back on its 1986 original. Now before anyone's alarms go off, yes, I have seen this movie before. Granted, and I admit this, it took a long time for me to see it. I was around my mid-20s at the time. Gotta say, I remember having a great time with it, though I don't remember that much about it, at least in terms of plot. So, I guess no better time than now to rewatch it and see how it holds up. So, this is my honest opinion of Top Gun. Despite being a talented pilot, Lieutenant Pete Maverick Mitchell, played by Tom Cruise, has a nasty habit of playing loose with regulations and being too cocky for his own good. This pays off when he and his partner, Lieutenant Nick Goose Bradshaw, played by Anthony Edwards, are selected to join Top Gun, a prestigious flight academy for the best fighter pilots. So begins a journey of romance between Maverick and his astrophysicist instructor, Charlie Blackwood, played by Kelly McGillis, a rivalry between fellow pilot Lieutenant Tom Iceman Kazansky, and finding a balance between being the hotshot pilot he wants to be and yet following the rules to do right by Goose and his fellow pilots.
You were number 2, Cougar was number 1. Cougar lost it, turned in his wings. You guys are number 1.
Yep, still holds up. Why does early Tom Cruise feel like a whole different time for the man as opposed to now? Does it have something to do with the Scientology thing? Whatever. This was fun. The opening scene is actually quite the spectacle, in that it seems like it's supposed to be a routine day for Maverick and Goose as well as their wingmen. Hostile enemies show up to harass them, but the incident leaves the wingman so shaken up that he quits being a pilot, which sets off the story for Maverick. It's a scene that is as fun as it is gripping. My favorite bit is when Maverick is invertedly flying over the enemy ship just to flip him off and take a picture of him. That, I was laughing pretty hard at that.
Greetings. Watch the birdie. Jeez, I cracked myself up.
But when the wingman starts panicking and can't land his own plane, Maverick disobeys orders to land his own and talks the other guy through to calm him down, possibly saving his life and preventing an already bad situation from being worse. It's the perfect setup for what we're in store for the rest of the flick. Maverick's an overly excitable hotshot, has a problem with authority, but he's got talent to back up his boasting and has a good head on his shoulders that makes him a legitimately likable person.
Tower, this is Ghost Rider requesting a flyby.
Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
From this point on, it's basically just a bunch of dudes doing a bunch of dick measuring and overplaying Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins. Look guys, I love that song too, but if I have to hear it way more than 2 times throughout the movie, it's overplayed. As well as a confusingly subdued performance out of Michael Ironside. I didn't know the man could do subdued. He's built his entire career off of being a grumpy, seasoned military man.
That was some of the best flying I've seen yet. Right up to the part where you got killed. You never leave your wingman.
Okay, that's a bit better. Man, I can't believe the 80s was an innocent time for an innocent Ironside. That's a pair of words I never thought I'd put together that have no business being together. Oh, wait. Michael Ironside's Canadian. Okay, maybe it makes more sense than it doesn't. How in hell have I not been wearing these throughout the entire review? They're not aviators, but they're the closest I've got. Then we get the most 80s as hell moment in the entire movie.
You've lost that loving feeling. Whoa, that loving feeling.
I have no idea what kind of woman today would ever go for a guy who openly sings this song to her with an orchestra to back him up without feeling utterly ganged up on and utterly embarrassed, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't tickle me.
Are you a good pilot?
I can hold my own.
Great. Then I won't have to worry about you making your living as a singer.
Oh wait, maybe this is the most 80s moment in the movie. During a scene where Charlie criticizes Maverick's past maneuvers, he huffs away while literally being chased by Charlie, who is ignoring maybe 100 traffic laws just to tell him that she has to be critical for posterity and not let anyone know that she's falling for him.
Jesus Christ! And you think I'm reckless?
First off, girl, I don't think you should be pursuing any man who can't take criticism, especially in a field where flawless technical execution is favored. That's some insecure micro-PP energy right there, and no woman deserves that. But then again, reckless driving just to justify your words to a man who isn't smart enough to understand the dynamic that you two had already established would be complicated.
This is going to be complicated.
And to tell him that you have the hots for him. Seriously, people almost died here. Maybe you two deserve each other. The 80s! Just so we're clear, I'm poking fun, not legitimately criticizing. What I will legit criticize is how inconsistent Maverick can be written at times. One of the earliest praises that I had was, despite that he's a hotshot character, a character we've seen a million times before and since, he was still written in a way that made him seem like he had a good head on his shoulders. He was smart. He had a brain. Like, it didn't take an end of second act screw up for him to realize, oh, so these are the stakes. I do have more to lose than I originally thought. You know, something like that. No, instead they completely avoided that and had him learn this lesson really early on.
I got a family to think about. I can't afford to blow this.
You're the only family I've got. I'm not gonna let you down, I promise.
However, he does eventually screw up despite that promise and has to repeat himself to Goose that he won't screw up again.
That was stupid. I know better than that. It'll never happen again. I know.
Barring the personal history of having friends who've screwed up the same way too many times, apologized for those repeated screw-ups too many times, and I've forgiven them too many times to the point where being their friend was so stressful that I had to cut ties in order to do right by myself, this is an annoying character trait for any character to have in any movie. It's bad enough when it's a one-shot offender that you can easily predict how his character arc is going to go, but to do it twice, after seemingly learning from his mistakes the first time, it comes off as contrived. Like, the writers couldn't figure out a different personality trait to overcome, so they decided to recycle the one that was already resolved.
It's not your flying. It's your attitude. You're dangerous and foolish. You may not like the guys flying with you. They may not like you. Well, whose side are you on?
I'll say that the end of the second act and on is refreshingly different from the typical ways that the hotshot screws up. It's legit heartfelt, and even though anyone can predict how it'll get resolved, the third act wraps up the film in a satisfying way. And whoo baby, Meg Ryan was a knockout.
Because unless you are a fool, a boy is off the market. He is 100% prime time in love with you.
While far from a perfect film, I enjoyed myself immensely. Highly recommended if you haven't seen it. Definitely check it out before the new one gets released. And I am curious to see what the new one's gonna do. Hopefully not exactly the same like copy and paste, but we will inevitably see. For now, my honest rating for Top Gun, a 4 out of 5.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Hope to see you soon.